Hey guys, it's Catherine and I'm here today with my February plan with me video. Now I'm super late posting this. It's February 9th today and it'll probably take me a few days to edit this. So I'm not sure what date it's going to be when this is finally uploaded, but February will probably be halfway over by the time you see this video. Now, in my monthly plan with me videos, if you're new here, in these videos, I show how I do several things in Procreate. They're totally different than my weekly plan with me videos. So if you're interested in learning how to do digital planning in Procreate, you might learn something in this video. Now, I do tend to talk a lot because I talk about not just digital planning, but also just some things going on with me and my family. So if you want to skip around because these videos tend to be a little bit long, then check out the video description down below and I will have timestamps posted so you don't have to listen to me talk for like a straight hour. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to give an update for you guys. This past month, I've just received a lot of messages and just support and questions, mostly through Instagram, some through Facebook. And I just really appreciate that you guys are always like reaching out to me and asking questions about things. I'm so happy to help you guys learn how to do all of these things on your iPad. I'm very passionate about this. I love doing it. But for those of you that, have sent me messages wondering how I'm doing and stuff like that, because I have not posted as much and I haven't been as active, it's just because I've had a few like minor health problems and I'm just not feeling good. So I'm just going to talk about those for a second. I'm not complaining and I don't mean to sound like I'm complaining, but I've had vertigo since like the last week of January it hit. And I'm still suffering from that, unfortunately, and it's miserable. I am on medication now, which makes it manageable, but there's been a day or two where I forget to take my medication because I'm feeling better and I just get distracted and forget to take it. And if I don't take it, then it comes back, really bad. So I've just got to get to the bottom of what's causing that because it's just miserable. And unfortunately, I am still going through that. And just on top of, having a little bit of anxiety about that, I'm just exhausted all the time, probably from the vertigo and just life in general. So I don't know, I've just been feeling drained. So that's why I have been so far behind. So I'm sorry to talk about all of that, but I just like to be completely open with you guys and let you know, like, if it takes me a little bit to reply to you on Facebook or on Instagram, it is nothing personal. I'm not ignoring you. I just feel bad right now. But hopefully everything will be better soon. Hopefully I'll get on the right medications or whatever I need to do. Hopefully this vertigo will just vanish. That would be ideal. Or we find what's causing it or whatever. But in the meantime, I'm just very sorry because I'm not as active as I normally am. So, February. I can't believe it is already February. It's crazy. My son, Maddox, is going to start school in 6 months, which is just totally freaking me out. But I'm excited at the same time. So, I haven't had a lot going on this month. I don't have a lot of dates to fill in. And actually, I am going to have to flip back through some of my planner to actually remember some of the things that have happened this month. Before I get started with that, I was going to show you some of the pages that I ended up adding for January. So I'm very behind on uploading my weekly plan with me video, so you haven't seen all of this yet. I'm not going to show you my weekly pages, but I just kind of wanted to give you guys maybe some ideas or inspiration for those of you that want to add more to your journal or your planner. So this is one page that I created, and I used my letterboard stickers, and I made a page for my favorite TV show winter premieres. I had more that I wanted to add, but I could only fit so many, so I just did my top TV shows right here, the top things that I was looking forward to, and I had a lot of fun creating that page. Another page that I worked on is this page. I did this for my 30th birthday. I included a couple of pictures. I love this picture. That is not my picture. I found that on Google, but it's hilarious. So sorry for the word. And I just kind of wrote about my morning, my first moments as a 30-year-old, my last moments in my 20s. And, I just wrote a little bit about turning 30. And then I created this to-do list. I was going to do one of these every week, and then I just kind of decided not to. It didn't really help me much with the productivity, so I've moved my list and stuff to a completely separate notebook that is just more functional rather than pretty. That's just easier for me. It's what makes the most sense for me. And then I have this brain dump page. I didn't go back and cross any of this stuff off, but I wanted to separate the things that I needed to get done this month. by Etsy, YouTube, and personal. So the last thing that I did, I created a January in review page. This is my favorite page in the January section of my planner. And I didn't have a lot going on this month, but it was still just so much fun to make. So, you know, I just wrote that it was the new year. I brought in this sticker that I found from an app called PixArt. It's an amazing app. You can find all kinds of really cute free stickers. So I got actually these two stickers from PixArt right here. I wrote down that I crossed 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, which was so exciting. So thank you so much for that, for everybody that supported me. I wrote down that I had turned 30. I included some pictures of all three of my kids and then my husband and I. These are all of the shows that I binged in January. It was quite a few. I ate a lot of pastaroni. I know that is probably horrible and probably part of the reason why I'm feeling so bad. But I just, like, outside of taking care of my kids, I just am struggling to be an adult. So I ate a lot of pastaroni and Pepperidge Farm cookies. Not the healthiest, but, you know, it is what it is. So I included those logos right there. And then I wrote down that I was having vertigo because that lasted the whole last week of January through now. And then I got my Quirky Writer keyboard in January, which I love. I'm totally obsessed with it. I have a video where I review it that I will link to in the video description. So now I am going to the first page in my February section, which is right here. And I'm going to pull in one of my monthly calendars. This is the Truly Yours planner. So it comes with 4 different options for a monthly calendar. Really quickly, I'm going to go to my Dropbox app so I can look at them on this preview right here. So I won't have to go to multiple different folders in Procreate. And I'm going to decide which monthly setup I want to use. I think I'm going to use the 4th monthly setup. That one worked really well for me last month, and I think it's going to work really well for me this month. So I am going to go to my digital planning stack, and I am going to import that from Dropbox. Okay, so I'm going to be using stickers from 2 different sets this month. The first set is by Print Petticoat Bandit, and this is their February set. So these don't have a transparent background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save these to my camera roll, and then I'm going to go into the Magic Eraser app and I'm going to erase the background. So to select all 3 of these sheets and save them at the same time, I'm just going to hit select, and then I'm going to select the 3 sheets that I want, and then I'm going to click on share, PNG, save 3 images. So now I'm going to go into Magic Eraser. So just one by one, I'm going to erase the background of these. Okay, so now what I like to do is go to my digital planning page and then pull those in from my camera roll. And I'm actually going to make that bigger. I need to zoom out so I don't accidentally cut it off. Okay, so now that I've got all 3 of those, I group them together. So I'm just going to swipe on these 2 because this top one is already selected, and then I'm going to click on group. And now I'm going to keep this group at the top of all of my layers. So every layer that I create from here on out will be underneath this group. And I keep the group visible, but then I hide the sticker sheet layers, and then whenever I think that, okay, I want to use a sticker from there, I just like check it so I can see it and then zoom in and select the one that I want to use. You'll see me doing that throughout this video. So that is just easier. For me, it's best to keep your stickers on top because whatever is on top is going to be your top layer. So the first sticker that I want to use from this set is this February header. So these are made for, I believe, Erin Condren planners. These are printable stickers. So they've got like these headers right here, but I don't want to use those. I just want the February header. So to just select February, I'm going to go to my ribbon, and I am going to do a rectangle crop right here. So rectangle is already selected for me down here. And then I'm just going to start as close as I can to the corner and then hold and drag. And now I'm going to click on duplicate. So you'll see that it added that sticker on its own layer. So now I need to drag this outside of my group. So I'm going to hold onto it and then drag down underneath the group. And now it's outside of the group. So now I can hide this sticker sheet, but I still have my February header. So now I'm going to place this over this box down here. Yeah, and that looks good. I love this header right here. Okay, so I know I said I was going to use 2 sticker sets this month, but I actually think I'm just going to stick with this set and then use the other sticker set that I was thinking about using in a weekly Plan With Me video. So now I need these numbers. I just love these numbers right here. So to make things easier, I am just going to crop all of the numbers 1 through 31 and then crop those individually and then get those placed. So I'm just doing a little freehand crop right now. I could have done a rectangle crop, but freehand is fine. I'm going to hit duplicate and then drag that outside of my group. I need 1 through 28 since it's February and we're not in a leap year. Okay, so I've got all of these, so I'm going to go ahead and group these and then size them down together and then place individually. I'm actually happy with the size of them just like this. So let me think. February, I don't want to be wrong about this. I believe it started on a Friday, but I'm going to double check because I would hate to place all of that and then be wrong. Yes, it started on a Friday. So I prefer to do my calendars with a Monday start. So for me, Friday would be right here. So I'm going to start there and I'm going to go ahead and put these numbers like in the center of the boxes that they're supposed to go. And then I'm going to start aligning them where I actually want them to go in the box because I like to flush these with the corner of the box and I have to zoom in a lot in order to do that. Okay, so I got 1 through 3 placed, so I went ahead and merged those together. So now I'm going to do the second row and do the same thing for that. Okay, so I've gotten all of my numbers placed and now this is all still a group. So I'm going to click on the group and click on flatten and now that's just one layer instead of 28 grouped images. So let's see, I need to place some days. So let me think what I want to do about the days. I know what I want to do. I just downloaded a couple days ago this really pretty font from Creative Market that I will link to in the video description. And it is called, I can't remember what it's called, y'all. I believe it's called like Valued or something like that. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. And it's a sans serif font. I just think it's really beautiful. It comes with like a lot of different variations. I'll link to it in the video description if you're interested. But I'm going to use this for my daily stickers. I'm going to type it in Graphic and then bring it into Procreate. So right now I'm just installing the font onto my iPad because it's not already on my iPad. I have a full tutorial that shows you how to do this and I will link to that in the video description. It is super, super easy to do. Okay, so I actually already have the days typed out because I did this for my weekly calendar. So since they're already typed out, all I have to do is select all of this and then change the color. I have a complete tutorial on how to do this as well, which I will link to in the video description, because this video would be even longer if I explained it all right now, but it is a really cool thing to know how to do, so I highly recommend checking that video out. Okay, so before I even start cropping these, I'm going to go ahead and size these down. I want to work with Wednesday when I'm sizing down, because you'll see letter-wise that is the longest day of the week. So I'm basing all of these sizes off of making Wednesday fit on top of a box because I want it to be proportional. So now I can crop these. And now I'm going to start placing these days. Okay, so what I'm going to do to place the days, I want them kind of close to the boxes, but in order to get them lined up, I'm actually going to place them on this blue line for my drawing guide right here, which I believe when I turned on my drawing guide, my camera had cut off. So if that's something that you want to do, in order to turn on your drawing guide, you just go to your wrench tool, go to canvas, and then switch this. It'll be off, switch it to on, and then you can go to edit drawing guide, and you can drag this bar down to make your grid size smaller or up to make your grid size larger. And then you can use that and it will help you align your stickers. Okay, so all those are placed. So now I'm going to group these, and I am going to select them with the arrow tool, turn on magnetics so they kind of stay aligned. Magnetics isn't perfect, but it works pretty well. And then I moved them down a little bit so they were just a little closer to my boxes. And again, these aren't perfectly centered with the box, but I just like to get them as close as possible. You'd really have to stare at it to see that they're not exact. Except for Wednesday. I feel like Wednesday is very obvious, so I am going to move Wednesday over a little bit. I'm going to move Thursday over a little bit too. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in dates, and then I am going to come back and decorate the sides and everything. So let me look at my calendars to even remember what all has happened this month. Okay, so I didn't do anything important on the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. And then I started this week in Procreate. Since I do memory planning, I haven't finished this week, but let's see. So yeah, okay. I have only had one appointment this week. It was my MRI on Wednesday, February 6th. So I am going to write that in this calendar. Even though it's past, it's fine. I'm going to use my signature brush to do all this. I will link to these brushes in the video description. Okay, so that was that. Yesterday, Friday, my cousin is in town and she came over. So I'm just going to write Mary in town. Okay, let's see. And I'm drawing a blank with dates. The last one that I know off the top of my head is my daughter's 15-month well child checkup, which is on the 27th. So I am going to write down Ella's doctor appointment. But I can't even remember what time it is. I'm a mess. So I am going to take a quick break from filming, which you'll never know. Well, you will because I just told you. And then come back to filling in these dates and decorating the rest of it later this afternoon. All right, so I'm back and I made a cheat sheet of all of the dates that I need to fill in, and it's not very much. I knew we didn't have a lot going on this month. I got the time for Ella's doctor's appointment, so I'm going to fill that in first. Let me go back to the brush that I was using. I was using my signature brush. and it's at 9:30 a.m. Okay, so on the 12th, I have therapy at 9 a.m. And really the only other dates that I need to fill in are the days that Sonny doesn't have school because he will be with us that week. So he doesn't have school the 15th. I'm sure I'll have a few other appointments this week. And I actually did really good last month about going back and changing my calendar to fill in upcoming appointments. So what I would do is I would just go back into Procreate and find my January calendar. And if you watch my January plan of me video, you know that there weren't too many dates filled in when I originally set this up. And then I went back and I would add appointments, you know, that I made throughout the month, things that I needed to do. And each time I would just save that and then add that into GoodNotes and delete the image that was there before. And that worked out really well. I'm happy with myself for doing that, and I plan on continuing to do that for February. So when I get this printed, at the end of the year, it'll be more accurate than my planner for last year, because last year I did not keep up with my monthly calendars whatsoever. I will link to my January plan of me video in the video description, as well as the video that I made about having my digital planner printed, if that is something that you're interested in. So for right now, I'm going to merge all of these dates. So they're just on one layer. And now I'm going to cover up these side boxes and all of these extra boxes that I've got. So to cover up these boxes, all I need to do is change my brush color to white, and I'm on a layer that's directly above layer number 1, which is my calendar layer. And now I'm just going to draw a rectangle around this box. And then I just held down, and now I'm using quick shapes, and I selected edit shape. So I'm going to make sure all of these lines are covered. And now they are. So now I'm just going to drag and drop the white dot, and you'll see that all that white space is gone. And I'll show you that again so you can see it better. I'm going to turn off my drawing guide. So for this, I'm just going to draw a rectangle, hold, hit edit shape, and now I'm going to drag these blue dots until all of the outside lines are covered. And now I'm going to drag and drop this white, and now that's covered. So now to do these other boxes, it's a little trickier because you have to zoom in, but I just think it looks really nice to do it this way. So I am going to zoom in really, really close, and then just try to adjust my brush size so it's not too big, and then try to get a clean line right there. I need to make it a little smaller. So that looks like a pretty clean line. So I did that corner. I don't want to do the same thing right here because I want this to be a full box. So now I'm just going to come right here. And do this here. And again, I'm not using my eraser tool. I'm using white because white matches the background color of this page. So, you know, if your background is a different color, you would have to either use the eraser tool to do this, which your eraser tool works just like your brushes, or you can color match your background if it's a solid color. Okay, so now I've got all of those areas. So now I'm just gonna take my white brush. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger now and erase not all of these lines, but just some of them. So now with my brush still on white, I'm just bringing these lines farther up so it's easier to draw a shape. And now, once again, just like I did before, I am going to draw a rectangle, and I messed it up. Let me start over. Okay, so now I'm going to draw a rectangle, and I'm going to try not to overlap with any of the days or any of the lines for the boxes that I actually need. And now I'm holding, and now I can hit edit shape, and I'm going to just drag these blue dots just a little bit. I'm making sure none of my days are covered. And then I'm going to drag and fill. And I'm actually going to put something right here because I know my days are still here. I actually might end up moving my days down and seeing how that looks. So I'll figure that out in a minute. So now doing that exact same thing that I just did for the top row, I'm going to do it for all of these boxes right here. And I actually messed this up. I'm just telling you this so you'll know not to do this. I accidentally erased next to a box that I need, because right there it would work for this box, but it wouldn't work for this box because it would break the line underneath. So instead of erasing there, I should have started here to erase. So doing it this way, none of my other boxes that I actually need are affected. So now I'm going to do the same thing underneath these first 4 boxes right here. Okay, so now I'm going to draw my shape. Okay, so I messed that shape up so bad. So I was trying to do a little shortcut and draw a shape around the whole thing, but since I can't really see what I'm doing, I'm going to draw a rectangle here and then a rectangle down below. And there it is. So one thing I'm going to do is drag these days down. So I need to go back to my layer that has my days on it and select my ribbon, and then come down here and select freehand. And now I am going to draw a shape around these days. I could have done the rectangle selection as well, but I just feel more comfortable right now with freehand for some reason. So now that my selection is connected, I'm going to click on my arrow and I'm going to turn on magnetics so I can align these a little bit better. And now I'm going to drag these down. All right, I want to move those just a little bit more, so I'm going to freehand it again. So now what I actually want to do is move this calendar down. So to do that, I am going to merge this layer where I drew all of that white stuff to cover all of my boxes. I'm going to go ahead and merge that with my main calendar layer. Then I'm going to drag my layer with my days on it above my calendar layer, and I can just pinch to merge those. Okay, so I've merged my days, but now I don't know why I didn't think to do this initially, but I also need to merge my numbers and all of my important dates that I filled in. So I am going to drag these layers on top of each other and then pinch. Now I'm going to do a selection. So I have selected rectangle down here. So I'm just going to draw a rectangle, then hit the arrow. Magnetics is turned on. So now I'm just going to drag until it is above that bottom washi, you know, just so there's not as much of an awkward space. So now I've got a lot of extra space for this page. So there are a lot of possibilities here. Let's see. What do I want to do with this? Let me see, my January spread was one of my favorites, and I can't remember how I did the header for that, so I'm going to use that as inspiration. So I'm going to do something kind of similar here, I think. I'm going to handwrite the header, and I'm going to do it in black initially. I may end up changing the color or adding a texture. I'm just going to see how I feel after I write February. And I'm using my Smooth Moves brush for this, which is part of my Ultimate Lettering Pack. And I'm going to turn my drawing guides back on. I'm actually going to do a lowercase f. I'm not good at capital letters yet for this script style. Yeah, I actually like how big that is, and now I'm going to fit 2019 right here. And I'm sure I'm going to come back and fill that in with the texture. I'm actually really liking this pink right here. So I'm going to play around with some brushes and see what I can come up with for texture over February. So I'm on my February layer now, so I'm just going to create a layer above that, and then I'm going to scroll through my brushes for a minute and try to find some paint brushes. Okay, so this pack that I'm using is called Paint Shop, but I didn't put the shop name that I got it from, so I will find them. I know I purchased it from Creative Market, so I will find this on Creative Market and we'll link to it in the video description. I'm just going to go kind of crazy making a pattern. So right now I'm just coloring over most of it in this really pretty shade of pink. And I'm going to save this pink to my color palettes. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up this. There's like a few shades of pink in here, so I'm going to pick up one of these right now. Maybe this pink. And I'm going to find another brush. And then I'm going to try to find a pink that's kind of in the middle. Maybe this one. So now I'm going to go here. This finger right here is your smudge tool. You can double click on it and select any of your brush styles. You can use it like a smudge brush. So I'm going to keep it on this. This is for a D&D lettering pack. I can't remember what D&D stands for either. I'm sorry that I'm so forgetful, but I'll link to this lettering pack in the video description. But I'm going to use their painted brush. And then I'm just going to come over these colors and just rub my stylus over it. And it's kind of hard to see with the textures and the paint strokes that I did with this color combination, but I'll show you down here. You'll see when I'm pressing down, it's smudging the colors. So this just kind of blends your colors together a little bit without doing the blur feature, which I can get into in a later video. Okay, so now I'm going to do a clipping mask. So I'm going to select that layer and click clipping mask. And let's see, I wish some more of the dark was showing through. So I'm going to turn off the clipping mask. I'm going to go back to my brushes and I'm going to do some more streaks in this darker pink. And I'm just doing random streaks right here. And now I'm going to smudge. Okay, so now let's see how that looks with the clipping mask. It's a little too blotchy. So I'm not going to turn off the clipping mask because this smudge is still working on the texture, but I'm just going to go through the areas that are a little splotchy and kind of even those out just a little bit using my smudge tool. See when I zoom in how it's just got a really nice texture. Okay, so now I'm going to change the color of 2019. I'm not going to get all fancy with a texture with that. So first, since I'm happy with February, I'm going to merge the clipping mask and February together. So I'm going to just pinch and merge. and now that is permanent. And now I'm just going to create a layer above 2019. Now I'm matching this darker pink right here. And on the layer that's above 2019, I'm just going to drag and drop this circle, select clipping mask. And I do like that, so I'm going to merge those together as well. And see, thanks to clipping mask, if I change my mind at any point, which I don't think that I will, I can always change it using the clipping mask feature. So that is why I'm so glad that they added clipping mask. So let's see. I know I didn't fill in Valentine's Day here, so let's see if this kit has a Valentine's Day sticker. I'm not sure if it does. It doesn't. So I'm going to write in pink, I'm going to write Valentine's Day. And somebody asked me this in another Plan With Me video, if you have to create a new layer each time you write a word, and you don't. I just prefer to do things that way so I can easily move things around. Like you can see I'm doing here, I'm centering day with Valentine's as best as I can. And then I just like to do it that way because it's easier to move things around. And then once I'm happy with the placement, I merge the layers together. But you can do everything on the same layer if that's what you prefer to do, and then just do a direct selection if there's anything that you want to move. I just think this way is faster, to just work with separate layers and then merge together. I'm going to draw a bunch of hearts in this box. I'm actually going to do this underneath the Valentine's Day writing, so that will stay on top. Anytime I have something like this where I can't write it up here, I feel like that's just missing something right there. So I'm gonna find some stickers. Oh, that's cool. These are the holidays for February. So I'm gonna use this Valentine's Day sticker, even though I just wrote it. I'm not gonna erase what I wrote. I'm just gonna add this in addition to what is already there. It's not my best work, but it's fine. That at least covers a little bit of that empty space. So for this one, I'm going to grab another one of those boxes right here, and I'm going to make an appointment box. Okay, so there's that. So now I'm going to place this by therapy. So I didn't accomplish very many of my goals for January, and February is almost halfway over, and I still have not accomplished a lot of those goals that I had in January. So I don't want to just waste time and write down a bunch of goals that I know that I'm not going to get to this month. So I think I'm going to write the goal setting for next month. Hopefully by next month I'll be feeling better, which will help me with accomplishing my goals. But let's see. I think I'm just going to fill in some of the extra space with stickers and maybe a quote. So let's see here. I really like this flower sticker right here. I'm going to place that there for now. I didn't think I was going to use one of these stickers of these girls, but I do think I'm going to because I've got a good space for it. So let's see. So I need to rotate that. I would have to warp that too much to use it. Let's see. I don't like where this is going. Sometimes that happens. I do love these stickers, but I'm just struggling with what to put over here. I just have no idea. I'm going to look for Valentine quotes and see if I can find a good image on Google. I really like this quote right here. It says, "True love comes quietly, without banners or flashing lights. If you hear bells, get your ears checked." Okay, so I saved that image to my camera roll, and now I'm back in Procreate and I'm going to pull it in. And I will link to that image in the video description. But it matches pretty well, actually. That's crazy. I'm resizing that and placing it here. And I don't think it's going to stretch it too much if I drag this down to just match the length of the page. Yeah, that's still perfectly legible. So there we go. So I think over here I'm going to do one of my letterboard stickers. I did that for January too, and I really like how it looked. So I'm going to bring those in from Dropbox. And I'll link to these in the video description too. I'm bringing in the white one so I can change the color because I want the outside to be dark pink and I want the inside to be light pink. So I'm going to go with this dark pink for the outside. And now the center. And on this letterboard, I am going to write the quote, "Love more, fear less," because that is something that I am trying to do. So now I can merge those together and get it a little more centered with the board. Okay, so I think I actually want to make those letters gold because I think that would look good. So I'm going to use a gold texture from Blog Pixie's Glamour Texture Pack. I use these textures all the time, and I'll link to them in the video description. They're so awesome. And I'm going to go to this wand right here, my adjustments panel, and I'm going to turn up the brightness a little bit on that gold texture and see how that looks. Okay, so that looks good for gold, but it's kind of hard to read. So let me show you what I'm going to do. This is already a clipping mask. So I'm going to duplicate my letters. And now this gold is a clipping mask to this layer right here. So I'm going to merge those together so that's permanent. Then I'm going to come down to this original layer that's still in black with my letters. I am going to select it and I'm going to move it over a little bit. And I'm just tapping to the side to move it just a little bit so it stays lined up. And you'll see now that kind of has a 3D effect and it makes it a little easier to read. But y'all, I'm so indecisive and I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm happy with the gold. So I'm going to try a light pink and I'm going to see if that shows up. It probably won't. I'm going to try a different gold texture. Let's try this one. Yeah, that looks like glitter. Yeah, and that shows up better. I like that. And I'm still going to leave that black shadow. So now I'm going to merge those layers, and I'm actually just going to merge all of this together. And I'm going to select it. I need to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to come down here to uniform so I can resize it proportionally and then drag it this way. And now I'm going to go back to freeform, and I'm going to drag it down just a little bit. So now I just need something for here, for right here, and I think I am going to just draw some hearts because that is the easiest thing to do. And I'm drawing a blank. Some months I'm really inspired with my calendar. I could actually say some weeks I'm really inspired and then some I'm just not. And right now I'm having one of those weeks where I'm just not. So I just can't really come up with anything original at the moment. But I mean, I'm still good with how this turned out. I love all the colors. I love the stickers that I used. So I am happy with how this turned out. This is actually decent in my opinion for something that I've created while not feeling inspired. So that's all that I really need to fill in. So now I'm going to just save this image to my camera roll, and I'm going to go to GoodNotes, and I believe I'm on the page that I need to be on. Yes, I'm on the page right after my February section, so I can insert my layout. And there it is. Let's look at it in full screen. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Like I said, I'm going to make it a point to mark off anything that may be rescheduled or come back in this page on Procreate and fill in any dates that come up in the future. Today is the 10th, so it took me 2 days to film this. So it might look a little bit different when I show it to you in my March Plan With Me video. As far as like the dates that are filled in, it might be a little more full, but for now, this is all we have going on. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being so patient with me. I know I've kind of fallen behind on my weekly Plan With Me videos once again, and I just have not been able to respond to people as quickly as I normally do, but I promise you I will get back to that. And hopefully March will be a much better month in terms of productivity and in terms of how I feel, you know, and just everything else. So I hope you guys like this video. Make sure to leave a comment if you have any questions or just anything you want to know. If you have any questions about anything that I did that I maybe didn't explain good enough, make sure to leave a comment. Make sure you like this video if you enjoyed it. I love hearing from you guys. Even when I can't respond quickly, I still really love hearing from y'all. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more digital Plan With Me videos and digital planning tutorials, and check out my website naptimealt.com, where there's tons of planner related freebies that you can download now.